Hi, it's Darnell with Over Recipes, and I'm going to be cooking up bacon in the Emeril Lagasse Power Air Fryer 360. And I'm going to be doing it a few different ways so that you can see, if you were wondering about a few different ways to do it, how it turns out doing it different kinds of ways. And so I hope that you enjoy this, and we're going to get started with that bacon right now. Okay, so here's my bacon, and for you who are not familiar with how I do my bacon, I always use a thick slice bacon. This is a thick slice applewood smoked bacon, very fatty. This really tests a air fryer's capabilities under something that might cause a bit of smoke with, a lot of the fat from this bacon. This isn't like regular sized bacon. This type of bacon is more probable to maybe cause smoke if the cooker can't handle smoke very well. And so it's a good test of the capabilities of an air fryer. And so I want to really see with this XL model how much I can get in one go in the crisper tray here. And with the original Power Air Fryer 360, the settings I'm going to use here are similar, but there was a little smoke at the end of the cook sometimes using the original Power Air Fryer 360. Nothing dangerous, but just a little. And I'm wondering how it's going to end with this one, but we're going to do similar settings here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have things on air fry where it already is set, and I'm going to adjust the temperature up to 450. I'm going to adjust the time down to 13 minutes. Usually takes between 11 and 13 minutes, although it may be different in this one, we'll see. But I'm going to hit start. It's preheating. While it preheats, I'm going to go ahead and get this bacon out and put some bacon onto the crisper tray, and we're going to see how many slices of bacon we can fit in here, because for a family size cooker we should be able to get a family size amount of bacon on here. And that way I'll let you know how much bacon you can feed your family in one shot, or maybe you'll need to go and buy some extra crisper trays to add on to be able to have enough, because with one this large you probably could get an extra crisper tray and try that. The only issue is if you have the baking pan, which you will need for something like this, underneath, and it's on the lower level, the lower heating element is probably going to cause that grease to cause some extra smoke. The crisper tray here is going to be up on the very top rack. I've got a the pizza rack on the middle rack, and that's where I'm going to put the baking pan to catch drippings. Usually putting it there you don't have any smoke problems, but if you put it low you may have some smoke problems, more likely than having it in the middle, because those lower heating elements are going to heat that bacon grease up and you might get yourself some smoke. So that's something to consider. I need to reverse the order of these. Every other slice of bacon, just kind of flip it so that I can fit more in. So doing it like this will fit, maybe get another slice or two in. I'm going to put them kind of close and we'll see what happens. And it looks like at this point we might get 8 slices in, maybe. We'll see. So this is slice number 6 and slice number 7. We may be able to squeeze 8. Let's see if we can get this moved up a little more. Maybe we can get to slice number 8. I'm getting that up in here. This bacon is kind of getting a little stuck to the crisper tray. It's not wanting to move too much. I will say, for something like this, there's really no point in using a cooking spray. I mean, the bacon has plenty of fat and grease of its own. So you're not going to, you're not going to use some greasy product to help a greasy product be more greasy, slippery. It's not just going to help much. So I think I will get that 8th slice in there. So we have ourselves a filled up rack with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slices. And so we're going to let this basically just hang out until things are preheated, and I'll bring you back. Alright, the preheat is done, And so now I'm going to hit pause, turn the time back to a full 13 minutes and get things in here. So got the baking pan under, got the air fryer basket on top. You just slide them in together like so and close up, hit start. Now things are running. And I wanted to mention, we got 8 slices on there. With the original Power Air Fryer 360, I was only able to get 6 on that smaller crisper tray. So this Emeril Lagasse Power Air Fryer 360 XL, that larger crisper tray can hold 2 extra slices. So, you know, if you got a larger need, the 360 XL can help meet that. And so you hear that air fryer fan, it's real quiet. Sometimes it gets a little louder for a while, sometimes it doesn't, but overall it's real tolerable. And you know, you hear it's real smooth, and I do like that from this 360 XL. I'll bring you on back in a bit when this is done. Okay, with less than a minute left, I want to show you how things look. That bacon is not near done, and it's not going to be finished in 13 minutes at this rate. So I'm going to up our time to another couple minutes. I gotta actually hit pause to up the time. So I'm adding like 2.5 more minutes, so that'll be like 15.5 minutes total, and we'll see how things turn out. You know, maybe I'll stop it at just 15 minutes if there's just 30 seconds left if it looks good, but looks like with more bacon we need a little more time. And as you can hear, the fan, as things have continued to cook, you know, it's gotten a little louder. I think at different points that fan works a little harder or a little softer. So it's a little louder now than it was, but it's still not very bad. I mean, I do have a directive mic that points at these cookers, so you get to hear the full audio of it, you know, pretty close up sounding. But it's not really bad. It's pretty tolerable. It's much better than what I experienced with the original Power Air Fryer 360. And so I really, you know, think they did put some improvements on the fan sound and, you know, the audible noise that fan makes. I think they did notice that and made some improvements there in this 360 XL, this Emeril Lagasse Power Air Fryer 360 XL, in my opinion. So, gonna let this continue to cook. The bacon's still moving along. I'm gonna continue to keep an eye on it. I may add a little more time if I feel a need. There may need to be more time added because we're down to less than 90 seconds left, and the bacon is still looking like it's going to need a little bit more time on it. So we may have to add a little more. And yeah, I think we're definitely gonna have to add a little more. It's getting closer to done, but it's still not quite there yet. So I'm gonna let it get down to like 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna add more time, because once I get to 30 seconds, that's when I'll know that we've had a full 15 minutes elapse on this cooking time. And we'll see, you know, maybe I'll probably add another couple minutes and then see how that does. The light, you know, you see I'm turning the light on and then it turns off. That light stays on for, you know, some seconds, then it automatically turns off on its own. But we're down to this 30-second mark here, and so I'm going to just hit pause in a moment. So just hit pause, and I'm going to add another 3 minutes. So that'll be 18 minutes total if it goes the full 3 minutes. So I've just hit start again, and we'll see if this, you know, this should be done in the next 3 minutes or less. So I'm suspecting it's going to be like 18 or less to finish 8 slices of bacon, and 8 slices is more than the other cooker would do, but it only needed like 13 minutes for 6 slices. So we'll see how this does. I'll bring you back. Alright, now the cook is getting down to less than the final 90 seconds. I'm starting to see some smoke start coming out. It seems like, just like with the original, when it gets near the end, a little bit of smoke starts coming out as that bacon finishes cooking up. And so we've got basically almost a minute left in what will be a total of 18 minutes cooking time, and my bacon's looking like it's getting near done. So I think I'm going to quit at the finish of 18 minutes, especially with some smoke starting to come out, and we'll see how things look. But overall, it seems like the I guess the quality of handling smoke is, you know, okay. It's not as good as some other cookers, but it's not as bad as some other cookers. So it's kind of in between. Once it gets near done, the bacon starts to emit some smoke that the cooker starts to let out. And, you know, letting out a little smoke right when you're about to finish isn't too bad because you're about to be finished. So we're just going to let it just continue out what is now less than 30 seconds left. And it's looking like, yeah, it's looking like it's going to be okay. From this point, I think I can let it finish out and just, you know, it's going to be a little soft. It's not going to be very, very crispy, but it'll be about done enough depending on your personal preference for your bacon. And so 18 minutes is up and it does all that beepy beepy. So I want you to have a look at how this looks now. I'll get this lower one out a little bit and then get this one out some. So let me see if I can get the camera down in there. So there you go. So 18 minutes and it's alright. It's alright. And so now I'm going to try and get this baking rack and the crisper rack out. Now I pushed the crisper rack back in. Now I've got to get that back out some more. Try and get them both out together so that I can keep this. Well, it's probably just going to be easier instead of trying to get it out at all just to get the bacon off. So just pull it out a little more. I'm just going to use some tongs and just get that bacon off and plate the bacon. And the bacon is, you know, like I said, it's a little limp. It's not very crisp, but we don't want a whole bunch of smoke going on either. So we stop things just ahead of getting some major smoke action. You see there's some searing on the edges of the bacon. So it looks pretty good. And as we get further to the back, things cook a little more in the back than they do in front of this cooker sometimes, it seems. So we've got slices in the back, and these last couple pieces you see are really done. They're really done. But all these slices are going to probably harden up a little more as they set. So I'm going to close the cooker up. And I've got myself a second plate that I'm setting here. And on the second plate, I'm just going to take one of these slices. This is one of the earlier slices from further up front that I'm setting down there. And so going to get the camera moved, we'll do a taste test of this bacon from the Emeril Lagasse Power Air Fryer 360 XL, extra large. Alright, so here's this bacon cooked 18 minutes. In the XL, it's still got a little of a wiggle to it, but let's do a taste. Okay, so the end result turned out good. Not very crisp, but done. So, you know, it's like done, but not very crisp at the same time. All right, so another day, we got some more bacon here, and I want to talk to you about what I'm going to do while I kind of get things set up. But basically going to have it set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, air fry for 30 minutes, and we'll see if 30 minutes works out. I'm going to hit start to let it start preheating. I've got a baking pan on the basically the pizza level. Well, basically I've got a rack, not a pan, but basically a rack, the pizza rack on the pizza level, and I'm going to put the air fryer basket just above on the traditional air fry level. And so basically I'm changing two factors in this cook, having the pizza rack on the pizza level with the air fry rack on the air fry level. So the racks are going to be one level down from earlier, and lowering the temperature down to 400 degrees, so 50 degrees lower with lower racks, and see how this turns out. And getting all my bacon set up here on the crisper tray, and just going to basically rotate my slices to try and get 8 slices on. Alright, I was able to just squeeze in 7 slices this time, and so we'll be doing the 7 slices. Alright, preheat is finished. Open it up, get things in here, just like so, nice and easy. Let's see if I can get things slid in at the same time. Try and get that rack in there even and smooth. Alright, there we go. A little bit of a tight squeeze there. But close up and gonna pause, turn the time back 30 minutes and hit start, and we'll let that run and I'll bring you on back. Okay, so now 15 minutes have passed and we're halfway in, and so I'm going to just hit the pause and I'm going to flip my bacon over to try and give it some even cooking on both sides. So, you know, we're changing several factors in this run from the other to see if we can get the bacon done in an efficient manner and avoid the smoke as well. So just getting these slices all flipped, and they all look like they're coming along pretty good. We may be able to finish in 15 minutes or less even at this rate, so we'll see how this goes. We just got a couple more to get flipped here. And you know, probably if you want to really try and load it up, you probably could try and put some bacon on the sides here. If you want to try and get a couple more slices, maybe get 9 slices, that's up to you. But close up there, hit start, and I'll bring you on back. Alright, we're 26 minutes in and we're getting smoke again, so I'm gonna cancel, but the bacon looks pretty well done. So even though we got some smoke coming off of there after 26, it is looking like the bacon's done. I'm trying to get that baking pan out of here too with the crisper tray so that I can get things safely out of here. So here we go. All right. So the bacon looks pretty well done, you know, this time, just 26 minutes at a lower temperature of just 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and having it down lower on the air fry rack with the baking pan just under it. We did flip the bacon, that probably did help a bit. Also, you can see things cooked a little further, a little more in the back than they did in the front, just a little. You know, if you want, you could spin that rack halfway through when you flip the bacon if you want to do that as well. But it looks really well done. You haven't heard my smoke alarms because they have not gone off this time. We got some smoke at the end, but without the smoke alarms going off. So we did, you know, accomplish the mission of less smoke, but we didn't accomplish the mission of no smoke. But we did avoid any, you know, smoke alarm type of issues. So I'm just going to get a slice here off and set it down there. And so we'll get the camera moved and do a taste test. All right, so here's our bacon, and let's do a taste. This one is more firm than the other, and I think over time, you know, if you let this cool, it's probably going to get even firmer. But this one's firmer, you know, so it's going to be a bit more crisp. So let's taste it. Okay, so that turned out good. Definitely some crispness on there. And so, you know, 400, a little lower temp, it, you know, still cooked up pretty well, and you got more crispiness and you got less smoke. So that works out well. You know, probably could even go down to 375 and try 30 minutes and see how that turns out. All right, so for this final attempt, what I have are 7 slices of bacon. And I'm going to set the Emeril Lagasse Power Air Fryer 360 to air fry. I'm turning the temperature down to 375 degrees turning the cooking time up to 30 minutes. I may need between 25 and 30 minutes, but this has turned out pretty well in my testing, so I'm going to hit start, let things preheat, and bring you back in a moment. Alright, the preheat is done. Hitting pause, turning time back to a full 30 minutes. Gonna open up and get things in, putting it on the air fryer rack with the baking pan on a pizza rack underneath. So just gotta get this shoved in here just right. Sometimes it's a little tight getting things in initially. So see if I can get it in there. There we go. Everything's in, close up, hit start. Gonna let that cook. I'll bring you back in a moment. There's more to do. Alright, we're at about the 15-minute mark. I'm about to pause things. There's just a light amount of smoke coming out, but nothing to really worry about. But you're gonna see what I'm gonna do. It's gonna mitigate that smoke a bit. So hitting pause here at 15 minutes. Gonna open up. Gonna get this out of here very carefully with my pot holders. And what I'm going to do initially, I'm going to flip the bacon over, so I'm just going to flip all the slices that I have in here real quick. And I will say, although this helps to avoid so much issue with the smoke, do not cook any hotter, in my opinion, than 375 unless you want more smoke. So I keep it at 375 after some trial and error, as you've seen. Just getting these all straightened out here. Alright, so now I'm going to basically spin the rack, you know, because it cooks a little hotter in the back than in the front. So spin the rack, you basically flip the bacon and spin the rack, get it back in there. Things go in and out a bit easier after it starts cooking. Close up and go ahead and hit start again. Gonna let this continue to cook, I'll bring you back. Alright, so I've let this bacon cook for basically 27 minutes total. Let it go for another 13 minutes after the flip and spin. And I'm going to go ahead and get it on out now and going to set it over here on this rack. So just hit the pause. I'm going to hit the cancel to totally end things and turn it off. And so let's have a look at this bacon here. See if I can carefully get the thing out. Here we go. So there's our finished bacon. And so now I'm going to basically get this pan carefully off of here, as careful as I can. Oops, and be careful not to have the fingers under there. So alright, got that down. I'm going to take this baking pan, just set it right there with the air fryer basket. And now I'm just going to get myself a piece for taste test purposes. I'll just take one right out the middle. So you see everything got a fairly even cook. It's, you know, kind of crispy. You can see some crisp on the end. It's still meaty in the middle. So there's kind of like a nice equilibrium between crispiness and meaty. So going to move the camera around and we'll taste test. So here's the bacon. And so let's do a taste. You can see, you know, it's getting firmer as it kind of rests for a moment as I was moving the camera around. It's still, you know, getting a bit firmer, so it'll probably be even harder if it was setting for even a little while longer, but it's still nice and warm. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a taste. Okay. So after my research and trial and error, that way that I just showed you is basically the way that I cook mine. I'd like to hear how you do yours if you do some other types of techniques. we can all share our ideas and, you know, come up with some different ways of doing things. So I definitely hope that you like, you know, all the effort that was put into this, because it took a bit of time. And you can find the written recipe for this at superwaveovenrecipes.com. Also check in the video description. Also in the video description, there are links for like referral links for the regular version of this cooker and my Amazon shop for other types of things for referral. And you can also come to this YouTube channel anytime by going to waveovenrecipes.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at waveovenrecipes. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with friends, and subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell, and good eating.